Hey there, BookTube. Noah. Everyone who reads it must converse is the channel. I've been inspired by my boy Una's book tour, like his bookshelf tour, and Steve Donahue does a comics tag every week. So I have been inspired to share my own. I didn't go through any of my comics when I had done my bookshelf tour. So today I'm gonna break this up into two videos, and we'll do all my comics and my cards. So we'll go through cards first. This is, I was big into it when I was a kid. So here's the first Marvel set. I don't have the whole set, but you'll see some of course, Ultron, Galactus. Some are, they did these covers. Some are well known. Some, you might not know if you haven't read the comics. Marvel Girl, Jean Grey, one of the X-Men. That's what I have of this one. They did these battles too. But then the 1991 Marvel comic series starts here. Iceman and Puck there. But then I have the whole set here. Let's see, Spider-Man, Hulk. They did, your super villains and your super heroes. And then there's these legends, like the Green Goblin there, Dark Phoenix. These heroes or villains that were part of these awesome, story arcs, and then either got killed, like the Green Goblin, something like that, the first Green Goblin, or Jean Grey, the Dark Phoenix. X-Men, Avengers, they're all together in this Marvel set here. Daredevil. Here's now we're in the villains. If y'all want to see this any more closely, Loki, Doctor Doom. If y'all want to see it more closely, just holler at me. They actually did a series of like teams, cards just showing the different teams. Fantastic Four, X-Men is one of them, and things like that. And then weapons. You got Thor's hammer, Iron Man's armor, Spider-Man's web shooters, Wolverine's claws, all that. And then arch enemies. So these are enemies that went up against each other multiple times. See some of that action. Very cool. And then after the Marvel set there, the 1991 Marvel set, there's the first set of X-Men, just the X-Men comics. So the first 9 make that scene there, the Danger Room, where they train. And then we have all superheroes and supervillains, just from the X-Men comics. Magneto, Sabretooth, Apocalypse. All the heavy hitters are there. Even the light, even some of the ones that aren't so well known. All the X-Men teams, the X-Men, the X-Force, all that. X-Men, kind of like Dark Phoenix is there. And folks that came into the X-Men and then actually left. The DC series, I have the 1991 DC comic series as well. These are cool because they have a Golden Age, Silver Age, and Modern Age, the comics that they're from. So just how they were presented, and you see the scenes, the backing, the background, actually, goes together. And after these major characters, then you have just single cards for some of the lesser characters. Aquaman, all that. And then so here's where we start, just like, you know, regular characters that weren't these major, you know, leading roles in their comics. Bunch of villains. Bunch of different heroes as well. Pretty cool. I'll go into it a little bit more if anybody has any interest. Just wanted to show some of this action first. And then in this video, I'm going to, these are actually cards just on major story arcs that they did. Cosmic Odyssey, The Great Darkness Saga, Armageddon 2001. Awesome. And then some covers from their comics. Alright. So, I wasn't that big on DC, but what I'm gonna put the DC in this video. Some Batman action. And then they did this Dark Knight run when I was younger. I liked the Dark Knight Batman was just this crazy, you know, taking drugs, just very unhinged. You know, Dark Knight, the Dark Knight Batman was the Batman that would actually, like, you know, hunt down a bad guy and kill him. So, you know, old Superman there. Just a random. And then starting the Superman, Death of Superman series. Little story arc that they did, where Doomsday actually takes him out. Lois Lane holding him right there. So in the comics, I didn't see. I know they put Doomsday in one of the Superman movies. I didn't really watch it, but in the comic, Doomsday looks like this. I don't know how he looks in the movie, or if he really made a physical appearance or not. I didn't watch that one. So that's my reading copy. Here's the you know, the collector copy. Most all my comics you see, I got them boarded and put up. And then after the death, there was this little series of, you know, called Funeral for a Friend. And I have those, but then I have a reading copy that just has all of those, where all the heroes are getting together and mourning the loss of Superman. And actually it ends with this one here. And this is, you know, kind of reminded me of All Dogs Go to Heaven, where you're with Superman in spirit form in the afterlife, and he goes back. You know, he comes back. This is the collector's copy. This is the reading copy right there. They're the same comic. So he comes back at the end. And then they started, you know, they kicked off this huge storyline where you got, you know, a Superman, the last son of Krypton. In the Man of Steel, you have a Superman, Man of Steel. Then in the regular Superman, you have the Man of Tomorrow, kind of this cyborg type Superman. And then you have a Superboy. And they're all claiming to be, you know, a Superman. And they run through this story arc where these four kind of Supermen are all in Metropolis and all going around, you know, and you don't know which one is Superman or not, or any of them Superman. And you know, what is actually happening. And it's pretty wild. Pretty fun. That's the Man of Steel there. He's this huge guy that made himself a big full-on steel suit. And then you see the cyborg Superman there, blasting one of the other Supermen apart. There's the Cyborg Superman again. And then here's the last son of Krypton. Kind of thought that he was the Superman, but then you get this, you find out that there's this black suited Superman. So Superman, his body was taken and held down held down at the bottom of the ocean so that it couldn't get to any sunlight. And one of the Supermen, the last son of Krypton, was just kind of like feeding, taking the energy out of him, out of his body. And he couldn't gain a lot of energy anyways because he couldn't get anything from the sun. That's where Superman's power comes from. But they break him out, and then he comes back. So that's when he's the original Superman is back in action, and he's a little less strong at this point. These ones that I'm showing you, and then he's trying to regain his kind of power. There's a little epilogue there, and then he's taken out all these other imposters. And then they charge him back up. Cool. So that's my DC. If anybody wants to see any more, I wasn't big into DC at all. So I followed the Death of Superman arc, and then that was pretty much it for me. I didn't follow Batman in the comics or any other DC for that matter. Not that they're not good. I just it wasn't my thing. So thank you, BookTube, for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Bye.